Number 1, the Whistler Club. This is a club made out of metal. I'm pretty sure that it's metal from either a lacrosse or a hockey stick. I'm not sure which. I found it in the woods, though. It has this paracord wrapped handle, pretty long, so you can use it with 2 hands if you need to, and a handguard right here. It's used as it's made to be 2 rods on either side so that it can go into a holster pretty comfortably, and also by the way you hold it, it just doesn't really hurt when you hit it. Weapon number 2. This is a one-handed fighting knife. It's made out of a piece of angle iron, and the blade is about 4 inches long, and the handle is about 3.5 inches long, for a total about 7.5 inches. Weapon number 3 is weapon number 2's big brother. This is also a one-handed fighting knife. That's just a lot bigger, really. The blade is about 7 inches long. But no, I'd say about 6.5 to 7 inches long. And the handle is about 4.5 inches long. Yeah, I think that helps. About 4.5 inches long. This one is made out of a piece of angle iron. No, I think I already said that. Whatever. It has a rubber band handle with a little bit of nylon string to make it a little more comfortable. The sheath also has this band on it to keep it from falling out. Weapon number 4. This is one I made very recently out of a pair of hedge clippers I found from a yard sale for 50 cents. Pretty good deal. I soaked both of the blades in a vinegar bath because they were very old and rusty, and then I buffed them out with angle grinder and a buffing wheel. The handle is 2 pieces of 1/2-inch plywood held on with epoxy and a couple of pins, and then rounded out, and a nylon string wrap all the way around. Cool thing about the handle is when I was making this, I cut my finger open, and I decided to put my blood on the handle. The reason I called this the Ravenclaw is because most knives have the sharp side on this side, on the curved side. Well, since it was hedge clippers, the blade is on this side, and therefore it looks kind of like a claw. So I called it the Ravenclaw. This is my chopping machete. I took it out of a piece of 12-gauge steel, so it's not very good metal at all. Easily, probably one of the worst blades I've ever made. But it does work pretty well against some wood. Only used for chopping, though. That's why there's no point on it, and there's only the blade on one side. Also, there's a paracord wrapping made out of paracord. Yeah. Paracord wrapping wrapped around some 3/4 inch wood, and the blade just slapped in the middle. This here is a apocalyptic machete that I made about a year and a half ago. Made it out of several pieces of angle iron, and with a rounded handle for a good grip, and a bit of a hand stop right there. If you stab something really hard, your hand doesn't go all the way up the blade. The downside to this is that the bevel, or the sharp part, is only right here. Since I made this a long time ago, I didn't really have anything to sharpen with, so I couldn't sharpen the entire blade. I just used a Dremel tool, which was harder than I originally expected. But since I just recently got an angle grinder with an abrasive wheel, I'm able to put blades on things much, much easier. This here is a slingshot that I made pretty recently. The bands on it are TheraBand Gold, I'd say about 3/4 inch wide, and it's only just one band, with a duct tape pouch reinforced. The cool thing about the fork is it's made out of melted down milk gallons. If you I cut up a bunch of milk gallons and put them in the oven, and since it's HDPE, it melts down in a very moldable plastic, like goo. And then I put it into a mold that I cut out of wood, and flattened it all out, and then rounded everything so it's comfortable to hold. And I think it's a pretty good slingshot. Just a shield made out of three-quarter-inch plywood from an old circular table. I cut it into like a sort of keystone shape, and then added 2 bars this way to make a point at the top, and then 2 rectangle pieces right here to cover up, so I didn't have to make like a triangle cage. I can only make a rectangle cage, and then there were spots right here, right there. That's only could pass through, so I put these rectangles here. I also buy extra protection from the corners. And arm hold system is a belt, some padding, and a handle, and an extra handle down here for easier holding, because it's pretty heavy. So that's the shield. What's that? You like crossbows? Bada boom, baby! This is a crossbow I built a few weeks ago out of some 1/2-inch birch wood. No, 1/2-inch plywood, and then some 1/4-inch birch wood, and 1/4 inch is the middle, and then 2 layers of 1/2-inch. Cut it out in this design with the thumb hole there. That's the handle, and the trigger is the regular one piece. Pushes the thing over the notch, the paracord over the notch. Mechanism is kind of interesting. Has this crossbar here with 2 buttresses for support so it doesn't move, and then 2 bars with a hole drilled, say about 1/3 in from that way, I guess, yeah, about 1/3 way in, and then it's connected to the crossbar with the 2/3 this way and the 1/3 that way. And then a couple notches in there, and then I just put in a whole bunch of rubber bands, but I need a few more. Pulleys on either ends, and the paracord string. It doesn't have a lot of force, but it has a lot of acceleration. I will be adding a lot more rubber bands to make it more powerful. And yeah, arrow clasp right here made of 12 gauge steel. And since it's just acceleration, it's really easy to pull back, but it has a pretty good amount of force. 3, 2, 19.